The late 19th century witnessed the rise of Zionism. This political movement advocated for a Jewish state. It emerged in response to anti-Semitism in Europe. Zionists sought a homeland for Jewish people. They saw Palestine, then part of the Ottoman Empire, as their ancestral land. In 1917, the British government issued the Balfour Declaration. This document expressed support for a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. It had significant implications for the future of the region. The declaration was met with mixed reactions. Jewish communities welcomed the declaration. They saw it as a promise for a safe haven. However, the Arab population in Palestine viewed it with suspicion. They were concerned about their own future under British rule. The Balfour Declaration laid the groundwork for future conflict. It set in motion a chain of events that would reshape the Middle East. The declaration remains a point of contention to this day. After World War I, the League of Nations granted Great Britain a mandate over Palestine. The mandate aimed to establish a Jewish national home. This led to increased Jewish immigration. It also fueled tensions between the existing Arab population and the growing Jewish community. The British faced a complex situation. They struggled to balance the aspirations of both groups. The Mandate period witnessed numerous outbreaks of violence. These clashes further deepened the divide between Arabs and Jews. Jewish immigration increased significantly. Many Jews sought refuge from persecution in Europe. This influx heightened Arab fears of displacement. They saw their homeland shrinking. The situation became increasingly volatile. The stage was set for a major confrontation. The British Mandate period proved to be a critical juncture in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. As World War II ended, the British sought to relinquish control of Palestine. The issue was brought before the newly formed United Nations. In 1947, the UN proposed a partition plan. This plan divided Palestine into two states, one Jewish and one Arab. The partition plan faced immediate opposition from Arab leaders. They rejected the division of Palestine. They argued that it disregarded the rights of the Arab majority. The plan was seen as biased in favor of the Jewish minority. The Jewish leadership accepted the partition plan. They saw it as an opportunity to establish a state. However, the plan failed to address key issues. For example, it did not resolve the status of Jerusalem. The rejection of the partition plan had far-reaching consequences. It set the stage for the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. This war would dramatically alter the political landscape of the Middle East. On May 14, 1948, David Ben-Gurion declared the establishment of the State of Israel. This historic event marked the culmination of the Zionist movement. It also triggered a mass exodus of Palestinians from their homes. The Declaration of Independence was met with joy by Jews worldwide. However, for Palestinians, it was a day of immense loss and displacement. This event is known as the Nakba, meaning catastrophe in Arabic. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians fled or were expelled from their villages. They sought refuge in neighboring Arab countries. The Nakba became a defining moment in Palestinian history. It left a deep scar of trauma and displacement. The birth of Israel and the Palestinian Nakba remain highly sensitive topics. They continue to shape the narrative of the conflict today. Understanding this history is crucial for comprehending the complexities of the region. Section 5. The 1948 Arab-Israeli War and its aftermath. The Declaration of Israel's independence ignited the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. Neighboring Arab states intervened in support of the Palestinians. The war resulted in a decisive victory for Israel. Israel expanded its territory beyond the UN partition plan. This further exacerbated the Palestinian refugee crisis. The war had a profound impact on the demographics and politics of the region. The war ended with the signing of armistice agreements. However, it did not bring about a lasting peace. Tensions remained high between Israel and its Arab neighbors. The 1948 war solidified Israel's existence as a state. However, it also left the Palestinian issue unresolved. The war cast a long shadow over the region. It laid the groundwork for future conflicts. Section 6. The Six-Day War and its enduring consequences. In 1967, Israel and its Arab neighbors engaged in another war. This conflict, known as the Six-Day War, lasted only 6 days. However, its consequences continue to reverberate today. Israel emerged victorious from the war. It captured significant territories from its neighbors. These included the West Bank, East Jerusalem, the Gaza Strip, and the Golan Heights. The Six-Day War had a profound impact on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. It led to the displacement of more Palestinians. It also resulted in Israel's occupation of Palestinian territories. The war's legacy is complex and multifaceted. It solidified Israel's military dominance in the region. However, it also fueled Palestinian resentment and resistance. The Six-Day War marked a turning point in the conflict. It shifted the balance of power decisively in Israel's favor. Section 7. Israeli settlements and the expansion of occupation. Following the Six-Day War, Israel began establishing settlements in the occupied territories. These settlements are considered illegal under international law. They have become a major point of contention in the peace process. The establishment of settlements has continued under successive Israeli governments. This policy has been widely condemned by the international community. It is seen as an obstacle to peace. The settlements have resulted in the confiscation of Palestinian land. They have also restricted Palestinian freedom of movement. The settlement enterprise is seen by many as a form of de facto annexation. The expansion of settlements has fueled Palestinian anger and frustration. It has undermined trust in the peace process. The issue of settlements remains one of the most intractable challenges to resolving the conflict. Section 8. The separation barrier and its impact on Palestinians. In the early 2000s, Israel began constructing a separation barrier in the West Bank. This barrier, consisting of walls, fences, and checkpoints, has had a significant impact on the lives of Palestinians. Israel argues that the barrier is necessary for security reasons. However, Palestinians view it as a land grab. They argue that it restricts their freedom of movement and separates them from their land. The International Court of Justice ruled in 2004 that the barrier is illegal. The court called for its dismantling. However, Israel has continued to construct and maintain the barrier. The separation barrier has had a devastating impact on the Palestinian economy. It has also fragmented Palestinian communities. The barrier is a stark symbol of the occupation. It serves as a constant reminder of the daily struggles faced by Palestinians. Section 9. Military operations and the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. The Gaza Strip, home to over 2 million Palestinians, has been under Israeli blockade since 2007. The blockade has severely restricted the movement of people and goods. It has created a dire humanitarian situation. Israel has launched numerous military operations in Gaza. These operations have resulted in high civilian casualties and widespread destruction. The most recent conflict, in May 2021, caused widespread devastation. The humanitarian crisis in Gaza is characterized by poverty, unemployment, and a lack of basic necessities. The blockade has crippled the Gazan economy. It has made it extremely difficult for residents to rebuild their lives. The international community has repeatedly called for an end to the blockade. However, it remains in place. The situation in Gaza is unsustainable. It demands urgent attention from the international community. Section 10. The path forward. Resistance, resilience, and the pursuit of peace. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict is one of the most protracted and complex conflicts in the world. It has resulted in decades of violence, displacement, and suffering for both Palestinians and Israelis. Despite the challenges, Palestinians have demonstrated remarkable resilience. They continue to resist the occupation through various means. These include peaceful protests, legal challenges, and cultural resistance. International efforts to achieve a just and lasting peace have been met with limited success. The two-state solution, once seen as the most viable option, has become increasingly elusive. A just and lasting peace requires a fundamental shift in the political landscape. It demands an end to the occupation, a resolution to the refugee issue, and an equitable sharing of resources. Both sides must engage in good faith negotiations. They must be willing to make difficult compromises. Until then, the cycle of violence and suffering is likely to continue.